Whoops. Alarm went off at the same time. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Talking Habs. I'm Rick. We got Matt, Pete, and Alex to join us tonight for to break down the trade that happened this afternoon. I wasn't home, so I couldn't do a video, so I thought, well, let's do a live stream, talk about it. And, it was a big enough trade. It wasn't a blockbuster, but I don't know that anybody expected Jeff Petry to be a Montreal Canadian again. And we'll talk about whether we think Jeff Petry will actually stay and play for Montreal or get flipped to another team for something else. So we're going to talk about that. We'll go over the details of the trade. It was a three-way trade involving Erik Karlsson going to Pittsburgh. And Mike Hoffman is now a member of the San Jose Sharks. Rem Pitlick is now a member of the Pittsburgh Penguins. And, so we get back. We're just going to go over this. We get back Jeff Petry. And in getting back Jeff Petry, you'll go, well, he's making a lot of money, but they retained 25% of his salary, Pittsburgh did. So we get him at 75%. So it's much more palatable. We get goaltender Casey DeSmith, which we're going to talk about how that's interesting. Minor leaguer Nathan Legary. And I don't know much about him, but I have his hockey DB. We'll go over that. And a 2025 second-round pick, so getting some, adding some draft picks to.
Never a bad idea to add early round draft capital. Never a bad idea.
So we're going to go over that stuff. I'm not sure where we're going to start. Where does Matt? You want to start anywhere particular? You can see how professional this is. We didn't have time to prepare this. So, you know what? Wait, can't start till we say hi to people that are here. Leon, hey Leon, your Petry's getting moved. You know that, Rick? I don't really know that. I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. But Matt and I talked about it a little bit before we came on. We didn't talk with Peter or Alex about it, but we've got reasons why maybe that won't happen. So we'll see. Hey, Pete. Hey.
Hi, Pete. Huh?
Yeah, because you're in the chat. That's why. Born to be a Hab. How's it going, buddy?
Lou, what's going on?
Guru. How's it going, man?
On stand.
How come it says Talking Habs Hi All? I didn't do that.
Oh, I did that.
How did you do that in my name?
On the very bottom on the comments, we can type stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right. Born to be a Hab says the rebuild just took 2 steps forward.
I guess in a way.
Yeah. In a way, yeah.
It
yeah. I mean, it opens up spots for the kids that was needed and contracts. They needed to open up those things. So there's my ex-wife, Louise. Hey, Lou, how's it going?
What up,
Thanks
Lou?
for joining us. Stand the man. This is a gentleman from Peter, beautiful province of BC. Very interesting trade. Very interesting. Joe from Down Under. Hey, Joe. It's bubble tea, Christmas in August. I mean, kind of. We got rid of Mike Hoffman. This is a really good thing, right? So, I didn't think there would be a taker for him, but I think I had said you package him up. It's basically what they did. They used a 3-team trade to basically package him up. They did not have to retain salary.
And we got a second-round pick, goalie insurance, and freed up 2 roster spots.
Awesome. Pete, you look like you're ready to chime in. Give a quick I don't know. How do you feel about this trade? Quick, straight up first. I don't know what I'm saying.
You don't know what you're saying. It's all good. It's
not coming out right anyways. I don't know if it's English or not, but it's not coming out right.
Well, it sounds like English. But as for Petry coming back, I'm not a big fan of it. But you know what? I'm glad to get rid of Hoffman. He definitely needed to go to free up some space for our forwards. Petry can sit up in the press box. I mean, and he may be able to give some more advancements and pointers. I don't know. I don't think he'll be sticking around. And Casey DeSmith is the interesting X factor to me in the trade. Mm-hmm. There's some serious potential there.
Well, not only that, but to me, and I have it written down right next to his name here. I mean, that's just goalie insurance. First and foremost.
Well,
that's goaltending insurance.
But here's the reason why. Caden Primo is is on that big roster, he has to be waived to be sent down. He might get picked up. I don't think he will, but he might. And I think this is insurance and all that. Alex, what do you think? Because I know you're bursting to say something.
Well, I'll say this much. As a Flyers fan, you're probably going to be surprised to hear this. I'm very glad Pittsburgh did this because they are continuing their all-in push that they kind of have to do with Crosby, Malkin, and Letang all still there for the sheer fact of trying to make this push a cup reality, which I just don't see any feasible way they can with the current roster they have. They're the senior citizen Penguins at this point. Erik Karlsson had a fantastic year last year, but it's the first time he's had a good year in quite some time. Norris, what is he now? A 3-time Norris Trophy winner.
3-time, yeah.
But the issue is, are you going to get that same Erik Karlsson? You're having him now 4 years, $10 million now AAV. San Jose retained $1.5 million to this, and you got another puck mover, and you already have that in Letang to an extent. Did they really needed that? I feel like the Penguins' bigger need coming in trying to get some physicality and snarl at the defensive end on their side of things. Montreal, I understand why they did it. I felt like this trade that they were part of was kind of similar to what my Flyers did with Columbus and Los Angeles earlier this offseason with the Ivan Provorov trade, trying to be that third team. You picked up a second-round pick in 2025. As Nordy said, it's always a good thing to get some extra draft capital, which is good. And I'm going to say one thing. I'm not high in Casey DeSmith. I watched him a lot in Pittsburgh. I think he's a below-average backup goalie at best.
He's an AHL goalie. I agree with that.
He's shaky in net. I don't think he moves side to side quick enough. I think he's got barely a 900 save percentage, if that.
905.
Yeah, exactly. It's not good. And I mean, part of it is because the Penguins defense for the part is inept. Well, players on it are. I won't say the whole defense, but I'm
like Erik Karlsson's going to play any defense.
Yeah,
here's his hockey DB, by the way.
Yeah, he's a C- at best backup goalie. He's a guy that I call KCD fill in the blank. Remove the M, and you kind of get what I say about him. I've never been high with him.
His numbers aren't horrible though. Look at his numbers; they're not horrible.
No, but it's just small sample size as a backup. But it's just I feel like he's a guy who just never was as good as his numbers show, and he regressed quite a bit this year too. Mm-hmm. And then Petry going back to Montreal is interesting. I actually didn't know something Nordy told me today that he requested a trade out of Montreal a few years ago. What was it, last year or the year before?
Yeah,
it was
for reasons that aren't valid anymore.
Yeah, but
I'll elaborate on that. Once you finish, Alex.
But with Petry. That I don't know what to expect. I could see him getting moved in a later trade before the season begins because Montreal, from what I hear now, is over the cap, so he might be shipped off to a contender. He's still a number 4 defenseman, I feel like, but he still isn't quite worth the money that he's getting. And like you guys are saying, that you need to make some room for the kids. He could stick around maybe for a year and just play there and just suck it up, or maybe and get moved at the deadline for a piece or so. Could make it a little bit easier to move because it'll have a little bit of term, and some teams still find value in that.
Yeah.
And then you guys get rid of Hoffman. That's a win by itself.
That's a win there. Yeah.
Has to be elaborated on there.
That's a win. That's a win by Mr. Fleece. No one fleeces like Mr. Fleece. Available at fine stores everywhere.
I don't think one thing that hasn't really been brought up, I don't think San Jose got as much as they should have.
San Jose is,
they
got
rid of Erik Karlsson and his contract.
That's the one good thing. They didn't have to retain a lot, but so I guess that's probably part of
win.
Return might not.
They still only have like $3 million cap space though.
That's a win but that's a win for them that they only retained $1.5 million.
Especially in a tight cap league like this right now. Like only having to eat $1.5 million out of that. if you look at the Kevin Hayes trade we just made, we got to eat half that salary. All we got was a 6th-round pick. So
I know.
kudos in that aspect of things. But when you're trading a Norris Trophy winner from the year prior, you expect to get more than a 1st-round pick. That's top 10 protected, mind you. And
Mike Hoffman.
Throw in Mike Hoffman and another throw in.
Yeah, but not in the salary cap world.
Yeah.
You know, there's only like 8 teams that have $5 million or more in cap space. That's it. Everybody else is right up against. So
even with this trade, the Sharks only have like 3 and change million, I think, in
space
right now, which is still, I mean, it's good for them because again, they don't have to worry about the Carlson deal, Hoffman's deals up at the end of the year.
Yeah, no, that
makes me look at what the New Jersey
long term, it's fantastic for them. I think this year they're probably going to finish dead last. Wouldn't shock me.
They'll be around there. They'll be around there for sure.
I could see that. There was something I wanted to do. Hang on. I'm just going to go look at a couple of these comments again. Jay Jackson, good to see you out there, buddy. And yes, Petry's back. Leon, I don't know that Petry's gone. We're going to get into that in a minute. I just want to say hi to a couple of people. Hey, Huzu. Don't want to name anyone, but I think Petry was a smokescreen in the trade to hide Legary, whom I've known with Le Ferrer. Turns out Legary's best friend is a big fish who doesn't have a contract. Okay, I don't know who that is. Jake Allen is on the move next. That's a possibility but I don't think DeSmith is brought in here to be a regular backup. I don't think.
No, I think, and not only you and I, Rick, but from everything that I had kind of seen after the trade, everyone's kind of in agreement. It's just insurance in case
I think so.
Primo gets called up and then gets put.
Yeah. No, I
gets
agree.
Waivers to go down. That's all it is. Just insurance.
Bubble Tea saying it's an old timers all-star team. The Habs, it's not. No.
I think Bubble Tea means the Penguins.
Oh, okay.
The other thing too that I'm just thinking of now, right? Because Dobis, I think, is the other goalie in the AHL.
Laval, yeah.
Should he maybe have a hot start and they want to bring him up, then you're still gonna have 2 goalies in the AHL. You know what I mean? Like this, you don't have to worry about being short down there.
What if Dobish comes into to the Rocket and just like really has a great, say, half a season? That makes Jake Allen available for trade at that point.
Well, right, and then you got Primo into Smith in the AHL. Right?
In a year where good goalies are hard to find, I mean, he's going to be valuable at some point, maybe by the deadline. Anyway, at some point. So, but I'm not saying that it's because of DeSmith. I think it could be Dobish that has a good year and they bring him up.
No, for sure. But I think, and this is, again, I'll keep saying it. This is Kent Hughes playing chess. He knows that it's a possibility. So he's essentially preparing himself. So if he has to make a move like that, he's got insurance there. He can do it and he doesn't have to.
He's not getting stuck again like last year where they were scrambling for goalies.
Right.
He's covering all his bases, right?
Yep. He's not getting stuck
all
like
his bases covered.
And I just want to say, I think it was Seb. Seb says it's a horrible trade. All we did was help the Penguins. I don't know about that. Honestly, I don't think the Penguins helped themselves. So I don't really know about that.
I think the team that got killed the most here was San Jose. I think we can all agree with that.
Oh, without a doubt.
I didn't hear what you said. Say that again.
I said I think we can all agree here. The team that did that probably lost the trade here was San Jose.
I think so. I think in the end, I think Dubas is just getting another bunch of high-priced, too high-end contracts. I mean, he just added a $10 million contract. All he has to do is add one more.
For 4 years.
One more, and they're the Toronto Maple Leafs.
The only problem is the contracts he's adding now are players who are about 10 years older than who he had in Toronto.
I get that. But I'm just saying that's like
a problem in and of itself.
It's a perfect Kyle Dubas kind of trade. The only thing that he did well is if you look, I mean, they sent out everybody on the roster.
I will give Pittsburgh one thing. They erased a lot of Ron Hextall's inept mistakes. They got rid of Petry. Yeah. They got rid of Gramlin. They got rid of one other guy. I'm blanking on who it was. But they
Ruda?
DeSmith, and then the NHL guy. But they They erased a lot of Ron Hextall's blemishes.
But it's like okay, so you wipe that clean and then start it over bad with the Carlson.
And that's the issue there.
You know,
better hope that the Erik Karlsson that they're getting is going to be that prime Norris Trophy winner for at least 2 or 3 of these years. And
unlikely. How old is he?
He's 33 right now. So, and you got him locked up.
I'll say this for a defenseman, it's known defensemen don't break down as quickly. So he's got another probably 3 more years that he could be.
He's got a good the way he takes care of himself. He's got a good 3 more years.
Yeah, 3. So 3 or 4. So it's possible he plays well for the rest of the contract. I wouldn't say that he's not going to, but I don't see how this works. I just don't. I don't know. Maybe I see it wrong, but
I kind of like what San Jose is doing. They're setting themselves up to be like the shithole team of the league next year. No, us.
But listen, that's how you build.
Good luck.
You want to build in the draft. You got to get in that position to get those draft picks.
You gotta be it. You can't be that middle ground team. You can't live in.
You're not going to go anywhere.
You're going to be stuck there.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So
we had 30 years of that. We had 30 years of that here. We didn't go anywhere. So
that's why I commend what New Jersey has done. I look at what the Devils have done, and I just say, like, that's how you do a rebuild. You suck for X amount of years.
Right. You get the
and
picks.
You build it up with your prospects, and now they look like they're going to be a juggernaut for the next couple years.
But admittedly, it didn't work for Edmonton.
No, it did not.
It has not worked.
You got to hit on those picks. That's the thing.
Yeah, you got to draft well as well.
And look, and I think and Alex, I totally agree. I think New Jersey's hit it out of the park, and I think that's what Hughes and Gorton are building towards here in Montreal,
100%.
right? Especially on the defensive side of the puck. You know, me and Cam discussed earlier in our group chat about Hudson.
Great segue.
High on him too.
Great segue here because we're talking about defense. Now, Matt and I are going to explain to you guys how we feel that it's possible Jeff Petry is actually here to play. I'm going to just start quickly by saying, if I've talked about this before, that it's possible Montreal could maybe reach out in the free agency market, pick up an experienced right side defenseman on a 2-year deal at low money. That's Petry in everything but the low money. But maybe Petry plays here as that guy. It allows David Reinbacher definitely going back to Switzerland. And that's, I think, the best thing. And this is the guy they're going to do that with. It's a little bit more money than I would think they would pay, but I think it's a possibility Petry does that. And then at the deadline or the offseason next year, they move him when he's got 1 year left.
Yeah, I think so. And even then, if they move him and they retain 50% of what he's at now, it's only like $2.3 million, I think, for a year.
Something like that. Yeah.
So again, very movable.
Yeah, they might move him.
And look, should maybe he end up maybe not be at the deadline, maybe he's here over the summer. You know, maybe they keep him around just so maybe Reinbacher comes into camp next year and he can kind of mentor Reinbacher a little bit because that's the type of defenseman that Reinbacher is, right?
Till Reinbacher makes the team. If Reinbacher makes the team, they move Petry.
Right.
Because the rumor was that they were going to bring in a puck mover on the right side, experienced guy for a very short term. That's Petry. Just the money is a little bit high.
Mm-hmm.
You know what you're getting in Petry. Right.
And again, to kind of more elaborate on Petry possibly staying, the reason that he had requested a trade about 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago, simply put, it was because of the COVID restrictions in place in Canada. It had nothing to do with the Habs organization.
Yeah, that's it.
Nothing but love for the Habs organization.
That's all it was. It was just that.
He wanted to go back to the States to be with his family. I believe his wife and his kids wanted to go. She wanted to go back to the States, and she did. And
if you'll remember, when they fired Ducharme, hired Marty, Petry wasn't playing well at that point, but that's when he started it. So he played well under Marty, and I think he would like to. I kind of think he's here to play for now. I don't know that he's going to be flipped. Sorry. Matt and then Pete chip in.
And like I said, now with COVID restrictions being over and kind of that freedom of movement, that whole reason the trade request was there is gone now. It's poof, right? Because again, he loved the Habs organization. His family loved the Habs organization. Had nothing to do with the organization itself. It was just those particular restrictions. Now that those are gone, I think it is a possibility that he plays.
I think so. Pete, what do you think of that? And what do you think?
We'll see what happens. I remember him being very upset that he couldn't go back to the States with all the restrictions back in the day.
Mm-hmm. It was the restrictions, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully he doesn't come back with a sour attitude. Hopefully he comes with a positive attitude.
I don't think he does.
Marty can draw some good out of him. It's now my concern becomes in the defensive pairings. Where and what are we going to do?
My opinion, second line. He's second line on the right side. Matheson's your puck mover on the first line. Petry's your puck mover on the second line.
That's pretty much what I told.
So he comes back to playing exactly what he was at his best here with Weber. He was the number 2 guy on the second line.
He's a number 4 puck moving defenseman at this stage, and honestly, another good year or two out of him. He'll probably. The best thing that you guys could probably do with him right now is you showcase him for 60-ish games, whatever it is, until the trade deadline. See if you can get his value up and see if you can get an arms race for him.
Exactly.
Or they get a good offer for him now, and they go, well, that's why I think if a team comes out and goes, we want Petry, and they give him they probably do it. But otherwise, that'll happen at the trade deadline or next off season. That's what I think.
And that's why I'm happy Chuck Fletcher is not the general manager of the Flyers anymore.
Bring back Chuck. Bring back Chuck.
No, I mean, exactly. Like, I think, whichever way this plays out, I think it's a net positive for the Canadians. And, I think should they, he be with the team to start the season, I think the trade deadline is more likely, maybe even before. For one reason and one reason only. They're going to need a roster spot for Lane Hudson when he signs his ELC because he's going to come right to the Habs.
They need contracts.
He's coming right to the Canadians. So
they need contracts. This is why Rem Pitlick, that's a good thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're going to need a spot on the defensive end. So if Lane, and I've said, if Lane Hudson keeps doing what he's doing and he does even better this season with BU, no doubt in my mind, he's signing his ELC in March when the season's over. I think
it's the consensus.
So I can see Petry being moved right around the deadline.
I think it's the consensus now, Matt. I've read this now a few times. I think more expert, like the guys in the know, they expect that Hudson, it's his last season in college.
How much was Rem Pitlick making in
1.1?
Wasn't a lot, yeah.
It was just okay.
Yeah, it was like one.
They had to move him. They were going to have to waive him, and more than likely, honestly, if they waive Pitlick, he's probably getting picked up. So they had to move him, and they needed the contract open, and they needed the space for younger, more talented guys. So it was a good thing. They got something for him. They didn't lose him to waivers. And
also, Pitlick doesn't fit the build of what the Habs are doing. Pitlick was just a little too small.
He didn't have the talent compared to these guys that are coming up that they want to get in there. These kids, they're more talented.
From what I saw. Oh, damn. I see he was only like a 4th line guy. I wasn't exactly sure what his contract looked like, so I wanted to see specifically.
Pitlick could play, like Pitlick's depth. He's your 3rd or 4th line guy, but he could play in the top 2 if needed for a game or two.
He's a really good depth player. Yeah. He's a good depth player for really any team. He's especially on his money, but in our particular circumstance, he wasn't someone that was going to play. And again, going into that and moving Hoffman, now we have spots. We got a couple of roster spots forward wise. I got a couple of names written down here. A name I've been high on and Rick's kind of been high on, but I think this shows me that they see a couple guys in either that are going to graduate from Laval or guys from juniors that they think could make the jump. To me, I think Joshua has always been my kind of top candidate to do that.
Yeah, got to be at the top of the list.
I think Owen Beck could be as well. The problem is Owen Beck's a center, so they'd have to move Christian Dvorak to do that.
Okay, but Dvorak is starting the season on the IR. So there's room for Beck to start the season. But then what do you do with him? But he could be sent back to junior after that. So there's room to move there. Like they'll have time. Yeah.
But should he start the season and perform, right?
They're moving Dvorak.
Then Dvorak,
I think, right?
Yeah. A couple of other names.
They're extending his IR. They might extend him a little bit on the IR. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, that hip. Yeah, it's gonna take another 6 months.
Yeah, look that way. Bam! Oh, the hip is bad again. You know, I can see that happen.
I wrote Farrell's name down too. Maybe even Emil Heineman. Maybe he gets a sniff.
Okay,
but
now that's a good
name. It's Joshua and Owen Beck.
Listen, Heineman's a good name, and I got to tell you something. As much as I think Waugh should be at the top of that list, I happen to think that it's a possibility Heineman's going to be at the top of that list.
Yeah, I mean Heineman was honestly probably the third name that came to mind. Waugh and Beck have always been there.
Yeah.
Heineman, I've having right there with those three. Really, any of those three guys.
He could be a surprise, and Ullinen could be like if he has a really good camp, and he needs to. I think he kind of does. So
I think he does.
So I mean, that could be a guy that could hit, but they needed the room on the roster and in contract wise to make these moves and bring these guys in. It was absolutely necessary. I want to just do one thing, and then I want to get to some comments. Interesting. Hoffman and Pitlick. Here's what's interesting. I've got their numbers. I don't have them on an overlay, but Hoffman, 2 seasons here. First season, 67 games played. Second season, 67 games played. 15 goals first one, 14 the second one. 20 assists both seasons, 35 and 34 points. Couldn't be as even. And then Pitlick, 46 games both seasons. Isn't that weird though? How that it worked out like that?
Yeah, you know what you get out of him.
Really, yeah. With Hoffman, you can almost write him down. He's going to get you 32 points or 34 points, something like that. That's what he was going to get. Anyways, I thought that was interesting. That's all. All right, let's get to some comments because we've been ignoring our people. I'm going to just scroll a little bit, and we're going to get to. So Born to be Happy here is agreeing with us that young kids have room now to advance up the ladder. Hoffman was in the way, and quite frankly, so was Pitlick. And so is Armia. And I think just a point that I think Montreal's pretty much done make moves, except
I don't think they can be with being 5.1 mil over the cap. I think there's one more move in there.
Okay. I think Armia is going to get waived, and I think he's going to get given away. And I've said it before. They're going to give him with a draft pick or whatever, and some team's going to take him on.
Born to be ahead. To answer your other question, I think Carlson was about minus 26 last year. He had
like I said, he's not going to play defense there.
No. Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Letang at 37 years old is going to have to play a lot more defense than he's used to.
But he was But he was never a defensive guy. He was an offensive
defenseman. That's true.
Right.
What he is,
and that's true in general. In general, if a guy is a puck-moving defenseman, he's a really good puck mover, more than likely, not the best at defense. More than likely.
He's there to create offense. He's going to be on.
Yeah, that's why you pair those type of guys with good two-way defenders or defensive defenders.
And that's why I look at
now he's paired with Chris Letang. I don't necessarily know how that's really going to work out because Letang is another offensive defenseman.
Yeah, you got him on 2 different lines. Sorry.
Yeah, you got it. You got to probably put Carlson on the second pairing, and then
you have to, right?
And that's
you put them on the same pairing. I mean, that's just a recipe for disaster.
It's for the pain.
Chris Letang is going to be 37, and all due respect to Letang, I think he's been one of the best defensemen that I've ever seen. But at that age, there's no way he's going to be able to cover for Carlson.
He's had 2 major complications too. It's just a guy.
There's just no way he's.
One thing I'll say, Carlson is good enough and a talented enough that he might be the first pairing guy, and they might move Letang back to the second pairing because of his age.
They could really alternate it, in all honesty.
Yeah, so you can see Carlson probably taking more minutes than Letang.
But I'm just wondering who's going to be that 2-way defenseman. Like the Penguins' biggest need, they needed a defenseman who can lock down their own end with snarl.
Maybe they're not done. One thing I'll say about Dubas,
Pittsburgh's not done yet.
They
A couple
better
of
not
times
be.
the last couple of years with the Leafs, he made some moves. I was surprised. Like didn't think he would be able to make moves like that. So maybe he'll do something and, shock us.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. All right, let's move on. Hey, Brad, how you doing out there, buddy? Sean. Oh, you got one? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to touch on this for 1
No,
second.
go ahead. Fine.
Flip two guys here, because to me, I think Gooley's playing on the top line with Matheson.
Yes.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
And quite frankly,
Savard on the second line.
Petry and Savard, it makes sense. Petry, offensive defenseman, Savard, a defensive defenseman. It actually makes a lot of sense, and I think that's how it would be.
And
but
then
I don't
think that
it's not going to be that. I really don't think so, Fred.
no, Gooley Matheson is the top pair.
Yeah.
And then third pair would be Arbor, and then Harris, Arbor, Barron, Harris, Kovacevic. I mean, there's like four guys that you can mix and match.
Barron, Harris, Arbor, all have waiver exemptions, so they can go up and down. Covey can't. So I don't think Kovacevic going. If they waive him, he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
If they waive him, he's gone. So it's Barron or Harris is going to be down. For me, I think it's going to be Barron to start the season. Going to be in Laval.
Down in Laval.
And then your third pairing is going to be, a combination of Arbor, Harris, and Kovacevic.
I can see that. I think
the reason that
Weidman will be buried in the minors.
The reason that works. Wait, I got a little bit more. The reason that works is Arbor on the left, Kobe's on the right. Harris can play both sides. So there, it's a perfect three guys to have to start the season. From there, injuries and the way the guys play, that's going to decide the moves that they're going to make to adjust. But I think that's how it starts the season.
Yeah, I think Weidman either gets buried in the minors or they waive him or something.
They got to waive him.
Gone.
Yeah, they got to waive him, and if no one takes him, he goes to the minors. I mean, right? What do you do with Weidman? What do you think, Pete? What do they do with Weidman? There's no room for Weidman this year.
There's no room for Weidman, and honestly, in my heart of hearts, there's going to be something coming down the pipe that's going to hurt all of us and shock us. I don't know what it is.
What do you mean by hurt? Like they're going to move somebody that we all like?
Yeah.
Really? I don't think so. The deal's
going to be too good.
Well, listen. Now I still don't think so because I think they have a plan. I don't think depending on what the deal is.
It's to alleviate cap pressure. We got way too much talent in the leagues down below.
This is something that I haven't gone over because it's a good point. They've got to relieve some of the cap pressure. But listen, it's only till the season starts. Once the season starts, Price goes on LTIR. They got $10 million, but they do have to be under the cap.
Yep.
So, I mean, you could put guys in the minors that have waiver exemption, although it doesn't really work because they're making low money. Like, I don't know. I haven't analyzed it.
That's why I like this off the cuff stuff that we're doing, but at the same time, I'm sitting here and my brain is just going round and round, and it's like, are they going to pull something crazy? Because you look at our defense, we got guys all up and down the lineup that need time to play.
So maybe Petry gets flipped. I mean, that would make sense that they don't have that 4.6.
That would make sense.
You got to keep the likes of Barron. You got to all those.
Yeah, but waiver exemption, they can go to the minors. It's not a problem.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with going to the minors and stuff like that. It's just these guys need the NHL experience too. So
yeah, but it's like I said, it's very short term. I mean, they just need to start the season there. Yeah. So they can put Carey Price on LTIR, and then they can call these guys up.
I'm looking forward to the next few weeks until the shit really starts to hit the fan.
Well, I think some of these moves might not have to happen till the last couple of days of training camp, or know. So who knows when it's going to happen, but
because we're not the only team out there that's got a shit ton of talent, but then there's other teams that have multiple players in talented positions. We're at a place where it's gonna. Yeah, I know Alex has got something that he wants to say. So.
Oh, no, that was just raising my hand, agreeing. Like, what my team's in that boat too.
Yeah, but this is a good problem to have, isn't it? To have competition everywhere. There's spots to be won.
Yeah,
I don't think
like
it's a
I
problem.
said, I don't know. My gut's telling me we got something coming down the pipe. That's
Well, there
just gonna
kind of
blow
has
us.
to be. No, I think you're right. There has to be. There's got to be some movement of money somehow.
Yeah.
But you got to think Armia's got to go. Armia's
What a
got to go.
disappointment. What a goddamn disappointment.
But he's got to go because I
Yeah.
mean, what value is there in him here?
There
None.
is no value in him. And, like you can't just float through the bloody season and then show up for the playoffs. It doesn't work that way.
You can't do that. That's 100%. You cannot do that. Oh, okay. Here's something that I want to go to this. From Huzu, I kind of didn't get back to this, but this is what he's saying. The kid they got, Legare, his best friend is Alex Lafreniere. So he was saying maybe they got him to attract Lafreniere. He's an RFA. But remember, Lafreniere is an RFA. I don't know that means that they're trying to attract Lafreniere here.
And plus, I don't know if I really want Lafreniere.
I don't think he's going anywhere.
The Rangers have stated that they want to keep him and continue to try to develop him.
Right.
So
I don't think he's going anywhere. Yeah, I don't. I just think they're having, they're negotiating a contract. He's an RFA. There's plenty of time to do that. I don't think it's anything to worry about. But it does cause for a lot of speculation and stuff. But honestly, I think once they fired the coach, what was his name again? And that was it. They weren't going to trade him. They're going to keep him. And I think they have said that they are going to keep him. Let's look for something else here.
Look at what born to be a Hab. Will they make a 4-for-1 deal and get a real number one goalie, 30 to 40 goal scorer? I don't think either. I don't know. I don't know what it is they're going to do. They're going to do something though. Something that's just going to. We're not going to be happy with some of it.
Listen, they're
predicting.
They have 30 to 40 goal scorers here.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to happen. And as far as number one goalie, I don't think they do that until they know what they've got in Sam Montembeault.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They don't know.
Well, not just Sam Montembeault. Even our kids that are coming up.
Dobish. Yeah,
Dobish.
Well, Dobish is definitely
Fowler. Jacob Fowler.
No, but Dobish is definitely ahead of Fowler. Fowler's 5-6 years away. Yeah. But Dobish is not. Dobish could hit as early as this year. So they've got to see what they've got in those guys before, and they're not ready for that number one big name goalie if they get one. I don't think they're ready. Anthony says Petry will get flipped. It's a possibility. I just want to find a comment here. Hey, Matt Greer, how you doing, man? He loves the deal. I think Jeff will help out the young core. Kent is conspiring to kill moves and rule trades. We are in a fantastic spot. I agree with that. Yeah, I think Jeff Petry can help the young core as well. I mean, there's definitely that value there. Just can they fit the contract in?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, there's also the leadership aspect of bringing him back too. He and ask anyone in the locker room. I mean, he's always one of those leaders in there.
He definitely was. He was a leader on the team.
There's a reason he had an A on his jersey.
Without a doubt. Joe says if they flip Petry with one other player, that could free up some more salary cap space and player space. And that could be what they do to get to where they need to be. I don't know. It's too new for me to get a feel for it yet I haven't read much about it yet or anything. So I'm not an insider, so I don't know, but I don't know. I think it can go either way with Petry, that they got him just to flip him, or they got him to stay here for a year, and maybe even the 2 years of the contract. I could see that.
Honestly, at this point, the more I've thought about it, I think with the timing of it, because you're only about a month out, I have a feeling that he's just going to be here in Montreal, at least, just for the bare minimum up until the trade deadline, just more of as a showcase guy. It could go either way.
I agree. But I mean, you know what? Training camps could have a lot to do with that. Like you might find by mid-training camp or near the end that they get a deal and they move them because they can't do anything else, right? They can't come under the cap any other way. That could happen, I guess. But I think if you're planning, Kent Hughes doesn't seem like the kind of guy that did this and he doesn't know the next move ahead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So there's something, like Pete's saying, there's some moves, there's some things going to happen. It's hard to figure out, right? Who would have thought Petry was coming back? to try to figure out what's coming down the pike's really hard, right? So I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I'm going to be taking off though, guys. It was good seeing you guys again. I appreciate being on.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for being here, Alex.
Thanks for popping on.
Yep.
Yeah.
See you when I see y'all again. Have a good night, everyone.
All right.
Have a good one,
Yeah,
Alex.
man. All right. So who's going up on top? No. That's not how it works. All right. I guess we decided we were going down here. Hey, holy moly, how you doing, man? Did we lose or gain cap space?
I think we lost a couple of $100,000.
No.
That all? Oh, that's right.
We had to approve that trade. You know that, eh?
Yeah. His no movement clause. Hoffman $4.5 million. Petry with the retained 25% off.
I think it's 4.6.
It's like $100,000 difference. And then we sent out Pitlick at 1.1, and that so actually we're up $1 million.
No, but then we brought in the Smith at 1.8, so it's like one.
But
was it $800,000? I think we lost in cap space, but it's
okay. But the Smith's going down.
Yeah.
So you're not going to add that, really.
Right.
So
then, in theory, then it's what?
We're up $1 million.
Yeah, so we'll call it like $4 million in space, I guess.
Yeah, we're to the good another $1 million, which is going to help. So I don't know, Pete. What did you say they were over? You don't remember you said something like $3 million or so.
Yeah.
Right now it's 5.1 because the Smith is on the main roster.
Yeah.
What does he make?
I was just looking at it.
1.8 like Smith makes. So if they send him, when he goes to Laval, then we'd be at
3.3. We're 3. If they send him down 3.3. Well, then, am I wrong? If they get rid of Armia, we're 100,000 to the good.
Yeah, who's going to take Armia?
That's why you got to tweak the deal.
Like at that point.
Well, listen, we got draft picks. We got picks, and we've got guys in the minors that they can use.
Yeah.
And that's why they've built them up for something like that. So
I was just looking at all the defensemen that we have, and
I had a feeling you were going that way too, and you were going they might have something in the pipeline that might hurt us because.
No, I don't think that's it. I think
maybe, but I think if anything, first and foremost, I can give you 4 names that aren't going anywhere, right?
Kovacevic would be the guy they move.
Let's hear him.
I'll give you 4 names. Like to me, I think I'm going anywhere anytime soon. Mayu, Gooley, Hudson. And between Arbor and Harris.
Arbor.
Probably Arbor. But Harris is so versatile.
I know. But Arbor.
To me, they're neck and neck. Barron, I could possibly see being.
But Arbor brings you something that they don't.
So I can kind of see Arbor. I can see Arbor maybe just above Harris.
And they drafted his brother.
Gooley, Hudson, and Mayu aren't going anywhere. They are they're untouchable. No shot they go anywhere.
But so Pete
Barron, I think could possibly be moved if they need to make space. Like
I don't think Barron's going anywhere. He can go to Laval. I don't think he's going anywhere. Pete, what are you thinking? Tell us what you're thinking.
I don't know, dude. It's stupid. I
got
a funny feeling we're going to lose some of the veterans to create space. Like I got a funny feeling Savard in a package deal with Kovacevic or something. I don't know. It's just something stupid.
I don't think Savard.
That's fine. I have no issue with that because the kids need time. The kids have to play.
Okay, that's true. I
don't want to lose. I don't want to lose Kovacevic. I do like Kovacevic.
No, I don't want to lose him either. But you got to think, Pete. A year or two down the road, Savard's has to be gone.
Savard's got to go.
Petry's gone because you're gonna have Hudson's gonna be here. Reinbacher's gonna be here. Mayu, once I go down and have a chat with Gary Bettman, is gonna be here.
I don't think
Dooley obviously is going to stay here in Arbor. I mean, Savard,
right.
I mean, like, you know what I mean? It's that point where, like, it wouldn't shock me if we see a guy like Savard or maybe Kovacevic.
Savard's not here beyond this next season, right?
Yeah. Anyway, his contract's up, and I don't think, and they're not bringing him back because they need spots.
No, maybe they do. Maybe it's Savard.
Maybe it is Savard. Maybe it isn't. Maybe Savard just becomes a piece that we just throw away at the end of the season and just keep there to.
No, Savard, it's his last season, right?
Yeah.
So then he's going at the trade deadline.
He's gone. You got to get something for him. It's just
he's going at the deadline.
I don't want to see some of this good stuff go away, and by that I mean, I don't want to see the likes of a Kovacevic. That Kovacevic plays 2 inches bigger than he is.
No, I can agree with that. I think for me,
I don't want to lose Barry.
So much good in the pipeline right now, like it's.
But you are going to have to lose some of those guys
exactly
down the road, at least, because you can't have them all. You can't keep them all down.
No, you can't.
You can't have them all.
Like we can't. We have so much bloody talent down there, and it just.
You know what it's called?
How do you incorporate it? And I'm glad I'm not Hughes.
Don't fall in love with anybody in particular, because somebody could go, and
that's why I'm the young guys.
In 2 years, the defense is going to be different than it is today.
Yeah.
So. It's what you're saying makes sense. A couple of guys have to go.
Yeah.
There's too much good defense here in prospect wise that they can't all fit anyway. Listen, Mike Matheson, he's not going to be back after the end of his contract because there's not going to be room for Mike Matheson. Right? And he's going to have to be traded in the next 2-3 years.
Take Matheson's place, right?
Right. There's going to be guys take those places, right? Mayu or Hudson, right? So
I think Hudson takes Mayu's or Matheson's place, and
it'd be a top 4. How they line it up, who knows, right?
Yeah. But, I think if especially if they're going to give Reinbacher that year in Switzerland, Gouli Hudson to me is that pair. Because I think that's Gouli obviously doesn't have. Not as good as Reinbacher with that stretch pass out of the zone, but I think Gouli does play a good game that balances out having Hudson on the other side.
I tell you why I don't agree with you is that Gouli's kind of established himself. He's on the first pairing. I don't think you bring Hudson in right away and he's on the first pairing.
Not on the first pair, but I mean, just saying. I don't think
Hudson
the next year, if Reinbacher's not here, if Hudson comes in and fucking. Out of my language, but if he goes ham, he'll be on the first pair to start next year. And who is?
No, I get it. Listen, he's going to be good. I shouldn't say what I'm going to say because McCarr came in and he was great, and Hughes and all that. They were good right away, and Fox. Yeah, maybe I don't know, but the 3 or 4 games he's going to get this season, I don't think he's playing first.
No, he'll probably play. If anything, they'll probably put him on the third pair to start, but I mean, if he has a fantastic first game or so, they might try him up.
I'm not saying no, but I just don't think they start him on the first game.
No, he wouldn't start on the first.
But by next season, the season after, he could win that very easily. He's got that kind of talent. Hudson has talent that you don't see. I saw a guy, I don't know if he was a Habs guy, explaining it that 2 years ago he was doing things you don't see very often on a player his age. You just don't see
I probably told you that.
No, I saw this in a little video.
No, but I'm just saying I probably told you that because I've followed him since the year before we went to BU, and I saw him and I'm going to see him in person again this year at BU. I saw him in person last year at BU. I mean, it's
Matt. I've
never seen a defenseman in college hockey play the way he plays. I mean, it's unreal.
Yeah,
absolutely creativity. Unreal. I've never seen it before.
The creativity is amazing.
You got to pull the reins back a little bit, buddy, because if Hudson ever catches wind of the love you have for him, he's going to be looking over his shoulder and pressing charges against you for stalking.
Oh my God! Take it easy, Pete.
But honestly, though, when you say hold back, like in a serious note, like no, I don't think you hold back on the praise for Hudson because
no,
he's going to be the No, but he's going to.
I mean, just that goal he scored a week ago. He was behind the net and he was stick-handed like he was in a friggin' phone booth, wrapped it around and put it in. Like, whoa, what?
You don't see that kind of creativity, that quick processing.
I mean, just his movement, the way he makes fakes.
His hands are slick.
The way he reads and reacts is like it's
the way he uses his movement to throw guys off. Like he made a move, and I have it on video when I was at the Hockey East Championship game. He had the puck and he was walking the blue line. I sent it to you. He made literally his whole body. He made a move like he was going to fire it down into the corner for a one-timer. And I mean, everybody bit on it and moved, and he almost put a top cheese on the other side. Like the way he just uses his movement to throw everybody off, I have never seen that.
It's his edge work.
Creativity is off the wall.
I mean, he about another 2 or 3 inches lower, he would have picked the top corner.
Yeah, his creativity is off the charts, and how quickly he does create, like how quickly he reacts to the situation, and then creates something to get the freaking hell out of bad situations or make the most of a good situation. Like I think he's going to be, he's
going to be a treat to watch.
He could be a generational defenseman. Like he could be. Its potential is there. He's definitely going to be an elite defenseman. I don't see how he misses. His talent is too big.
And he's so elusive too. I mean, I've seen him just duck under bigger. Like if he's going against a bigger guy, he'll literally use his center of gravity and go down low and just skate under him. Like it doesn't faze him. Like he'll get the puck. Oh, that's a big guy. Duck, boom, and he's off to the races. Like he's so smart at like anticipation. It's unreal. Like he thinks the game so quick.
Everything is moving so slow for him. He's probably, like it's just, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about, Matt. And
I mean, I've seen him duck hits. Like it's with the puck.
He's fun to watch. Like I've watched lots of
ducks, and then he just creates it's unreal.
This is a point I keep making, right? A small player to get to where he is this level, he's had to avoid getting hit his whole way up. So they know how to avoid the hits. They're not like always.
It's not even about avoiding the hit. It's about absorbing the hit and rolling off of it.
That's avoiding the hit. He knows how to avoid it in a way where it doesn't affect him. There's no impact to his body.
And he can do it at full
Cole.
He can do it at full speed. It's ridiculous.
No, I know, but it's the same for Caulfield. That's why I've said this before, that he's going to be okay because he knows how to avoid getting hit badly. Or he wouldn't get there. A small guy like that, if he gets hit hard like that all the time, he's not going to make it to the NHL. Right?
Nobody would.
Right. So they know how to avoid that. I'm trying to find if anybody's talking about Nylander coming here. No. He makes too much money. And by the way, where was it? Anthony, Armia and Petry for Manta. Manta makes $5.7 million this upcoming season. That doesn't work. The money doesn't work. And Petry, I don't think is gonna go. Although money does work, I guess, in a way. I don't think it would accomplish everything though. But I don't think the Manta thing, that's off.
I just hope the Petry deal doesn't bite us in the ass eventually down the road.
You know what? I'm going to say this about it. With Kent Hughes at the helm, I'm not that worried about that.
Neither am I.
I'm not worried. I don't think he took this on for it to be. I mean, he's getting rid of bad contracts. I don't think he took it on as a bad it's going to be a bad contract next year. I don't think so. So whatever the plan is,
not contract wise. My big concern is Petry bringing in a bad attitude or.
Why? He loved it here in Montreal. Why would he have a bad attitude though?
He was just in Pittsburgh. I'm taking a shot at Pittsburgh, but no, we'll just play it out. We'll see what happens.
Yep, I think so. Hey Adam, how's it going?
Getting back to DeSmith, I don't know. He's a decent backup. We'll see what happens there. I don't know what's going on there.
I don't think that's
the interesting piece. Like I said,
that's depth. I don't think it's more than depth. Personally, that's my opinion.
I hope so.
Adam says, Jack, it's not Arthur, by the way, it's Arbor. will be traded. Montreal always trades away good young D-men. I don't think this management is different. I don't think you got that right. I don't think
that guy ain't going nowhere.
Because personally, I think they wouldn't draft Florian, his brother, if they were thinking, well, we're moving Arbor. I don't see why. I really don't see why. To me, drafting his brother is motivation for Arbor to keep working hard and improve, and they want him on the team because of his toughness and those fists. They need that. It's not going to be everything that he does, but they want him to be.
It's not just the fists.
They want him to earn that. They want him to earn that spot to bring that extra that they want to keep here. That's what I think it is.
The potential that Arbor has is higher than most people think. Like he's a good defenseman. He's not.
And you know what?
I don't disagree, Pete. And I honestly, I think he's got a pretty decent shot from the point too. You know what I mean?
He's more than that.
He could end up being a pretty well-rounded defensive defenseman. I think
it's more than that, and this is how I see it. And I agree with you guys, but I think it's more than that. They see in him one of those kind of players that can be motivated to become better.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Chris Nyland.
They see how he wears that logo on his chest. This is a guy they see something in him and they believe they can motivate him to get to that spot. That's what I see.
He is your present day Chris Nyland is what he is.
Yeah. And that's probably a good way to put it. I don't think he fights as much as Nyland. I don't think he can do that, but I think he's that protector. He's the enforcer. He's your Ryan Reeves. He's your
heart of the team.
He's the guy in Washington. He's your Tom Wilson. But I think a better character and a better.
Oh, speaking of that contract, not to interrupt you, did you see the contract Tom Wilson just signed?
Yes.
That made me.
What sick. The frick?
Is that dumb or what? Anyway, Tom Wilson signed 7 years at like 7 something.
It was like 6.8 or something million.
It was like I think it was 7.2 or 7.4.
I thought it was 6.8. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was 6.8.
Way too much, and for 7 years.
He's 30.
He's 30. So like that's dumb.
But the way he plays,
right? That's
and
dumb.
It's funny. Me and Alex again had this discussion too in the group chat. Me and Alex both agreed. 2 years into that contract, he's probably gonna be worthless because of the way he plays. He's probably gonna break down. Probably gonna get himself suspended for something dumb.
It's Milan Lucic again, right? That bad contract, and then he couldn't play anymore.
Yeah.
Who's the league? Who's the league just
He's
called
so
it
physical
out?
That
you can't put it up. Which one? Where is it?
Who's the league?
Who's
the league? Yeah.
I'm so far behind. Okay, this one. Well, what happened? We both clicked on it.
Yeah.
That one?
That one.
Read it.
Arbor before last year, first defensive rookie in goals, hits, blocked shots, shots on net, and penalty minutes. Third in points. Habs haters. He an AHL goon.
He's not.
He's not. And that's saying all last year. His first pass coming out of the D zone was excellent.
He's got
tape to tape.
He's got
everything there.
I think he just needs a little bit more motivation to reach that goal that they think he can reach. And
he's got to not take the dumb penalties. That's
right.
Big thing.
Yeah. But I mean, he's got something that they want.
Can't let the anger take over. He's got to play
right.
He's got to control that rage.
He's got the talent to be a third pairing defenseman, regular third pairing defenseman on this team going forward, and he brings you that enforcer. He's the
top four. He's your top four.
Mm-hmm.
He might not be a top four, but he doesn't have to be. He just has to be top 6. Really, that's what he has to be.
Yeah,
top 6.
And as I was reading that blocked shots too, in that comment there, that makes a lot of sense to me because I did see him a lot of times get his body down in front. I mean, he blocked a lot of shots, and to me, that's a criminally underrated stat. I think a lot of times, I think it's overlooked quite a bit more than it should because.
Don't forget
that shows you a lot of how much heart a player has and really how much awareness that they have.
That's what he's got.
He did really well when he got his power play time.
Yes. He's potential as the second defenseman on a power play unit, I think for sure. A conservative lawyer met Arbor and Florian a week ago at a public signing and said they're cool. I think I know the public signing because they advertised it on Twitter, I believe. So awesome.
And that makes sense. I mean, I've heard nothing but awesome things about Arbor. Like as a person, like awesome dude.
Leon, I think here has it right. This is his big knock. I think the biggest knock is the skating.
Mm-hmm.
And I've read that a few times. But listen, the way Nick Suzuki improved, there's some players here that had that knock. They've improved. They're going to work with the same people. He's going to work with the same people, and he's going to be better. He's probably already working on it, and we're going to notice the difference in camp. Watching,
but also don't forget
prediction.
He's 6'4", 245. You don't move fast. I mean, you can move fast, but
he need work on his skating. But that skating can be taught. I mean, he can learn that.
Yeah.
He seems like a coachable kid, so I think he'll pick it up.
Oh, actually, this is kind of a good segue because, Pete, I don't know if you were here when Rick and I were talking about it, but speaking of big guys, there's a report that Slavkovsky put on like 10 or 15 pounds of muscle.
Someone corrected me. It's the opposite. He lost 10 or 15 pounds. He slimmed down, and it should make him more effective.
I was going to say.
I had gotten it wrong.
I mean,
someone
he's still,
had corrected me.
235, 230. He's still a big dude.
Yeah, I mean, but the point, though, I think, might be that no, I don't think that makes sense. But he's a big dude and he's strong, and I don't think losing 15 pounds at his age, at the weight that he was, is a problem.
No.
He might be more effective,
probably a little more agile, probably better on his edges.
And
more balanced, a little bit more balanced.
When you got to, skating hard for 45 seconds to a minute is tough. That could make him a lot more effective. Make him a lot more effective.
Endurance
in playing at the high pace.
You're thinking about endurance.
Yeah, you got endurance. That's the word I'm looking for, right? So that high pace that they want them to play for 45 seconds is not easy, even for them who are in great shape. And I think that'll help them do that. So I think that's what that's about.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to worry about anyway, that he lost 15 pounds.
No?
It was 15 pounds of baby fat anyways, because the kid's still a fucking baby.
He's still a baby. He's 19.
Oh, yeah.
Like Joe says down there, he's more streamlined. That's what it's about. I don't think there's a problem there.
Good. I'm glad it's that way, because I remember when you first told me that you thought it was he gained that much. I was like, shit. When he's going full speed down the track, you're in the way. You're gonna get launched.
There's a few guys now. We got a few guys on this team now. That's the case, right? Yeah. You don't want to get hit by them.
Kirby Doc skates through people,
and he has done that. He's 3 times. I remember 3 of them last year, where he just literally and skated through them, and they just went like a pin in a bowling ball pin. What's the word? A bowling pin, just to the side, flopping around, and he just skated through like he went through like nothing, like air.
And who was that Detroit player that he fucking? Pardon me, sorry about the potty mouth. Who was that Detroit player that he laid down on the ice and then stood over top of? I can't remember that.
Was it a Detroit player? Wasn't that Slavkovsky?
Oh, that might have been the guy that hurt Slav, and then Doc, I think, got him back.
Doc just.
I remember
out of nowhere. Actually, it was while we were watching the game, wasn't it?
Well,
I remember Matt losing his mind, doing the big, holy shit, did you see that?
Yeah, I don't remember. I kind of remember something about that.
Because
I came out of nowhere, remember, Matt? Like, it just, all of a sudden, and it was just hard punches. Like, he was throwing some nice, hard haymakers.
Yeah, I kind of remember that. Dana, by the way, you got here late, so you didn't know we're not hard on the trade at all. We like the trade. We're all happy with all this. So, yeah. I don't know what you heard that made you think that, but no, we're all talking it up.
Yeah, I mean, grade-wise, look, I think for the Canadians, I give it like B+, A-, somewhere around there. Like, I think overall, it's a good trade. No issues. Like I said, if you look around on Twitter, a lot. I mean, obviously the Penguins getting Carlson probably gives them a bit of an edge, but there's a lot of back and forth between the Canadians and the Penguins of really who won this trade.
Oh, Canadians did well. They did not lose this trade.
No.
That's for sure.
No.
They're by the way, Pete, Doc versus Cop. That's what Huzu says.
Well,
that might have been exactly what it is.
fight.
Yeah.
The guy, whatever.
What was it? That Cassian fight though, too, when Arbor dropped the gloves with Cassian. I think Rick and I lost it.
Oh man, that was a hell of a fight. That was preseason. Was that preseason? No.
No. That was, I think, that was like the first week of the season, though, or the second week.
Okay, by the way,
the first NHL fight, he took on Cassian, and Rick and I were like, all right, let's see how he does. And he just went boom, 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 and knocked it.
knocked the shit out of him.
Oh, okay.
So a couple of things, by the way, I wanted to say. Preseason schedule is out. So they're playing 6 preseason games starting on the 25th of September. They're all televised. I'm probably doing all of them. So we'll be doing our first game September 25th. It is against, oh, God, where did I write it down? Toronto? We're playing Toronto 3 times. It's not against Toronto the first game. We're playing Toronto 3 times. I think Ottawa twice and Detroit, I think.
Oh, for the preseason, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the preseason schedule. So that's out. That's known. What else did I have? Oh, I just have a personal announcement here because I've said something about this. So I know, like maybe a couple months ago, I said there's going to be some good news, a big announcement that we're going to have. Well, that's not really coming because what it was is we were up for a podcast on a big website, and they had some technical issues and couldn't add us, but we've been waiting, and I thought we had it, and it turns out they hired Habs Digest over us, and he just started last week doing it. So that was the big news, and that's the reason why I didn't really do the live stream last night. I was kind of bummed out by it, and I wasn't in the right frame of mind. I'm okay today. I got over it quickly, but I was a little disappointed and stuff.
And
so that was the big news.
Digest, it's like on a good note. Like we enjoy watching you guys. So all the best.
Yeah. Listen, I wrote the guy back, and I told him he made a good choice in Habs Digest because, I mean, the guy's good, no doubt about it, I think the guy's better than me on video, but I don't think that judgment of that, since it's a bigger channel and whatever, I kind of think we would have done just as good. I think on audio, I can do just as good as anybody, to be honest, so. Anyway, that was it. That was the reason I wasn't on last night, and that was the big news that didn't actually happen. But they were thinking of doing 2 podcasts, and I don't know if that's still open. I have an inquiry in and all that, so it might still happen, but I kind of don't think so. Anyway, that's the nature of this business. It's a tough business, and you never know what's going to happen. So anyway, I'm fine today, so no worries. Let's see now. Brad agrees with me here, by the way. No way we draft Florian and then trade Arbor. It doesn't make sense.
No. I don't want to lose Arbor.
No, but it doesn't make sense. They're drafting his brother and they're going to trade him. Like, it's not that his brother was like this big, great, like he might turn out to be good, but I don't think going in it was like, oh, you got to get Jack-Eye. I don't think it was like that. So they drafted him, I think, mostly as motivation for his brother. I really think that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if anything, too, Florian may end up on the 4th line as just the sheriff's deputy, right? As Arbor being the sheriff, like, because Florian's just every bit as tough as Arbor is. I mean,
Pete, what were you going to say?
You get the 2 of them as your protection, you find
yeah.
Anybody farts in the direction of Lane Hudson or Cole Caulfield, they're in big trouble.
Pete, I just remember last year saying a few times, could you imagine if we end up drafting Florian, Arbor's brother? I said it a few times, and you guys you're like, well, I don't know, but I'm kind of happy they brought him in.
Yeah, it was a surprise. I remember I read about Arbor talking about that the draft, and they were doing something, and he went, "Oh, we got to go see there. It should be about time my brother's going to get drafted." And they went and checked.
Oh, he was getting a haircut.
Yeah, and they watched, and it's like, "Oh, what happened?" So someone told him, "Yeah, no, he got drafted by the Habs," and he freaked out. He was so happy that his brother got drafted by the Habs, and there you go with that motivation. They want this guy to live and die for the Habs, literally, and he's going to get better, and that's the motivation. I really believe that. So, but you guys were right, because if you did say that, and listen, it happened. So good prediction. You kind
of. Oh, it wasn't much a prediction. It was just kind of for me. It was a hope. I wanted them to draft him because I see some potential in Florian too. You know,
I don't know enough about him. I've got to do a little video, I guess, about him. I can't say. That's why I can't really say. I don't want to say, oh, he's this, and I don't know. I could be talking out of my. I'll be talking out of my.
You know, I don't want to say that they come from a poor family or anything like that, but they come from a family that has got
character.
They're grounded. You know,
he's going to work hard.
They earn everything that they get.
He's going to work hard. That's what he's going to work hard for everything he gets. He's going to earn his way, and they're motivating him to do that. That's what I believe. I really do.
And
very humble.
At the end of the day, that is one of the most important things to have on your team is players that are honorable, legit, honorable soldiers. You know.
And if you want that type of player here, that enforcer type player, sorry, he has to be able to play.
Damn right he does.
So you can't. So
the thing is, these boys can play.
Yes, that's what they see in him, right? Arbor is that enforcer, and the kid can play, and we want him here. He's got to be able to be a top 6 guy. I think that's what it is. Who says Rick knows, and who has been saying. So Mo muscle.
Yeah.
We got some small guys here, and if you're gonna have some small talented guys, you got to protect them. And that's what they're doing. So thinking that Arbor's getting traded away, not with Hudson coming in, Caulfield here, and there's a couple of other smaller guys. They're not moving Arbor. I don't believe
you can't. And then has anybody noticed what what's his name? Pizzetta's been doing? Anybody see him jumping out of the pool out of the water?
No, I haven't. No.
Oh my God, it's hilarious. He was doing what somebody else is doing, jumping out of the shallow end of the pool, where it's hip deep. He's jumping out of there and up onto the deck, up onto the platform. And
for the muscles and the legs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
He's looking good.
Well, listen,
the kid is looking good.
He's got competition, man. He's got competition now.
Yeah.
Like he really does, So if he wants to, and he's signed to a one-way deal, so he wants to stay up here.
He'll play. He'll perform.
He's got to perform, and
he will.
There's a lot of good competition, and what that does, though, right? With all this competition, guys like Pizzetta and stuff, they got to work harder. Everybody's got to work hard and to make the team, and it creates really good. I don't know. It just creates good habits and good. It's
like
good.
They say on the Niners, iron sharpens irons.
Right.
So, and this is what's happening right now. We got great players, and they're all sharpening each other's skills up. So,
good question right here. Does Petry get his A back?
I doubt it.
I tend to agree with you there. What do you think, Matt?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think the A goes. Who's got the A right now?
Well, Galley
and
Edmonton's gone. So really, but I think it's going to be. I'll give you mine first because I have it out there. Matheson, and then when Galley is injured, because that's going to be a lot. I think Anderson, who wore it last year as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think if they're both injured, I think Monahan's a good candidate.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the one place that it's been really quiet. I follow him on Twitter and everything, but he's super quiet.
He's a quiet guy, though. Monahan's a very kind of bland kind of guy. That's why they call him Toast. He's bland.
No, I'm talking about Anderson.
Oh, Anderson. Because I don't think there's anything up with Anderson. He's healthy. He's ready to go.
He's just...
And he's kind of, I think at the end of the last season, he was mad with these reporters asking about him being traded, blah, blah, blah. He got a little upset.
Yeah, he was pretty annoyed by that.
That's probably, he doesn't want to talk to reporters right now, I think, maybe. That could be what's up.
I like what Ryan Berger's saying. I'd like to see Gooley get the A. And that's kind of where I'm laying. That'd
be cool. Gooley. And look,
Matheson wore it last year at the second half of the season with all the injuries.
I could see going to Matheson. And look, 2-3 years down the road,
that's different.
Right. I'm just thinking ahead 2 or 3 years down the road. And again, having this conversation we just had about Arbor, I could potentially see him 2 or 3 years down the road, maybe getting an A.
Yeah, I know. I don't think I agree with that.
I can see it.
Yeah, I don't think
he's the heart of he's the heart of the team, and he's a fan favorite. Everybody on the team loves him. The fans love him. The NHL hates him. Everybody from everywhere else hates him. I could see him getting an A.
I think it's Matheson's on the defensive side, and I think you got to just find somebody else on the maybe off. I think it's not going to be 2 defensemen getting the A's.
No, that's true.
I think it's Matheson for now.
That's true. No, I didn't think of that.
Yeah,
but again, I mean, you never,
Andy Ward.
Listen,
Andy Ward last year, and he's a leader on that team. And no, I think Andy gets it. He already wore it. I think he did a good job. I think he's done a good job with it. Nothing bad.
Yeah.
I think they go with that.
Like I said, I'm just talking years, down the road.
I get it. I'm just talking for the next couple of seasons. It's hard to say though, right?
I see Andy getting it. I mean,
who else? Think of the forwards. He's more of an elder statesman as far as his age. He's a leader, and they look up to him. And I think it's going to be Andy. But can you take it away from Galley? That's a good question. Does Galley get it back? I think so. I don't think you take it away from him. Out of respect.
Not yet, but if he gets hurt again this year and he's on LTIR for a while, then
well, obviously, but then that's what I'm saying. So if Galley's on the ice, he's got the A for the forwards, and if he's not, then it's Anderson. And I think for defense, it's going to be Matheson wearing the A.
Yeah,
for now.
But I don't think Petry gets his A back.
No.
That's assuming he plays. Who is the goaltender we got? We got Casey DeSmith, Elio. I don't think it's anything to get excited about. I mean,
it's an interesting piece that we have.
At best, a backup, though. I wouldn't go one. I wouldn't say 1B. I would say at best a backup. But
Also, don't forget having DeSmith there, and in my mind, a better goaltending coach. He could amp the numbers up a little bit and become that extra little bit of trade bait piece that we need at trade deadline.
Right.
Especially if a team's desperate for a goalie. I mean, you might be able to. Ken Hughes might be able to pull off a police job.
Did have some pretty good games.
He's not as bad as Alex made him look. Because you want to see his numbers?
Well, and it's in part because of Pittsburgh's defense, right?
Yeah, but look at his numbers. His numbers aren't
Pittsburgh's
that bad.
Defense is porous.
He's got a .912 save percentage in 134 games. That's not bad, and a .281 goals against. That's not horrible numbers.
No, it's not gross numbers.
Right? This is a guy that could have potential. If you have he's good
proper
depth.
Goaltending coach.
Good depth. It's good depth. If injuries happen, you can play this guy a little bit.
Yeah. Like I said, it's good goalie insurance.
I might even be more confident in him than Caden Primo.
What are Primo's number? Do you have them?
They're not good.
The AHL numbers are okay. The NHL numbers, no.
The NHL numbers are not good.
Numbers are awful. I know
are not good.
No, I think he's got like an 860 save percentage in the games he's played with the Habs.
896.
I don't know.
Something like that. It's bad.
Cut it. I don't think Primo's going to cut it for the NHL.
No, that's why I'm not worried. They got to send him down to Laval. He's not getting picked up.
But again, though, too, right? Should there be injuries, now Kent Hughes is now positioned himself where he's not caught with his pants down if he has a goalie.
He's got options now in that. He's got options now, which they did not have last year. Was a problem because their goalies got injured last year all through their ranks, and they were struggling to get goalies in there. So, it was good for Monty, but it's not a good thing to have in your organization when you don't have any goaltending.
Well, and I think if you look at the draft, they addressed that as well. I mean, we took 4 or 5 goalies?
Yeah. And out of them all, I'm really excited about Fowler.
Jacob Fowler's nice.
But okay, I am too. But I mean, he's 5 years away.
Oh yeah,
it's Dobish. You got to think about.
Right now we've got Montembeault and we got Dobish
and Dobish. Those are the main.
So we're doing good in the goaltending.
Yes, I think so.
Again, like we've said, Rick, it's chess, right? Because Fowler, like you said, in a couple years, right? Say maybe we have 5 years. Montembeault is going to be 32, 33. Maybe it's time to move on from him. Well, Jacob Fowler's ready to go, and then maybe it's Dobish and Fowler is 1A, 1B.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
100%. The point, though, is if you go back 2 seasons before Hughes, like we weren't deep like this, and there weren't options like this here in our organization. This guy Hughes has in less than 2 seasons really turned around everything in the organization.
Oh, the landscape has completely changed since
it's really amazing.
Gordon era took over.
He's done. He's done an amazing job.
Total 180 from how it was under Bergevin. I mean, complete total 180.
He's done an amazing job.
I mean, in terms of like you said, having all this depth now in the AHL and beyond, in terms of the player development system, just everything about the organization.
Yeah, it's completely different organization.
Totally flipped around.
Hey, Rick, can you put up Mr. Expo's comment?
I got you there. Joe in Chicago. Joe, what are the strengths and weaknesses of Jacob Dobish? You guys know. I don't really. Does he have it? Does he have the it to be the future? That's the good question. And I don't think it's known yet. I think he's got the potential.
Well, he's got potential. If you're looking for the it, it's Fowler. I think Fowler has it.
I'm not going to disagree with that, but I'm not going to say that Dobish doesn't have that same potential. I think Dobish does. I think between the two, you've got 2 guys, one that's going to be here earlier,
like Matt just said,
and one that's going to come a little later. That I think they think both those guys have that potential.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
But again, too, right? If the plan is to sustain competitiveness for a decade, maybe even more, right?
You got to have, right?
That's how you do it. This is exactly how you do it.
Because you know what? They're not Carey Price, but you're not going to find that. So you're looking at, really planning 5 maybe years at a time, right? Dobish, maybe he hits. He's here, and Fowler comes in as his backup and then graduates to the guy.
As I recall, the word on Dobish is his stick work and his glove side are something to be contend with. Like he's good at puck handling.
Yeah, I don't know his strengths and weaknesses. So good you got this. I don't know enough about Dobish.
I think I'm qualified to answer this as the resident college hockey guru.
Oh, that's true. He plays. Does he play there? No, but he played.
He played at Ohio State, but I watch. I'm a college hockey nut.
Okay, so
read this stuff.
Let Pete go over what he's got, and then you.
I haven't got anything. So Matt, you give her.
Yeah. So with Dobish, first and foremost, he's a big dude. He's about 6'5".
6'5". He's
very, very good size for a goaltender.
Yes.
To me, his biggest strength is his positioning. He's very rarely ever in the wrong position. He's always very square to the shot. Pretty common net.
So his puck tracking is good, I would assume.
The puck tracking is very good. He's very good at reading what's going on around him.
Yeah.
I think the defense in front of him at Ohio State contributed to his numbers maybe not being where they should have been. But overall, he was probably the best goaltender in or if not a top 3 goaltender in college hockey throughout his whole tenure.
Didn't he get goalie of the year?
He did 1 year. He did, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not sure which year, but in college, I know that he got goalie of the year 1 year.
And there's really nothing very glaring. If anything, maybe the 5-hole. But again, that's he just got to work on his. He's a tall goalie, so he just got to work on the speed going down. But
got potential.
The glove is good. The blocker's good. Like I said, his big thing is his positioning. He's very rarely out of position. Very, very rarely.
Speaking of glove, by the way, something I heard about Monty. Monty played catcher growing up. When he played baseball, he was catcher, and that's why he's got a really good glove hand. I think it's Monty I read this about.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, but you know what? Dobish sounds like could be ready if Monty's, let's say, a 2-year gap guy here. Dobish could be ready at that point. 2 years.
Even honestly, I think he's got potential to he might play he'll play some games in Laval, and I think he could pretty quickly show that, okay, this kid might be ready sooner than we think. I mean,
I think Dobish has potential like that.
He played all 4 years, I believe, at Ohio State, so he's got that experience. Like I said, ready wise, the positioning's there, the puck tracking's there. He can make the acrobatic save here and there, but he's a very good, solid positional goaltender.
So does he have
the right position to make a save? He makes saves like off the He's the type of goalie where if a puck gets deflected, he's in such good position it's going to hit him. Like you don't have to worry about it getting tipped, and unless it's a very good tip and it goes top corner. But he's always in such good position that it's going to hit him.
Right. So in other words, it might not look spectacular, and that a guy that's in really good position all the time doesn't have to make as many spectacular saves because it's not a big reach. He doesn't have to reach to make the save. You know what I mean? So I think that's a good point. I had something and then I lost it. Nice, eh?
His mistakes
net
are
coverage
small
too because of his size. He covers a ton of the net.
Yeah, he's 6. They're saying he's 6'4", 201 right now, and they're saying that he makes small mistakes such as not getting to his post and transferring his backward momentum laterally. That's his weakness.
And how old is he?
22.
Oh, yeah. So this guy's got 2-3 years easily, that plenty of time to develop still. Like I said, 2 years. 2 years down the road, Dobish could be here working his way to number one.
Yeah. And like I said, stuff like that, I mean, that's coachable. That's something they can work with him in Laval, no problem.
Of course.
But the intangibles, the skills that you really want to really kind of be there when he gets there, he's got.
Price might be working with him.
He's ready to go. He just needs to work on those little things, the side to side.
That's what I told you. That's what I said to you a couple of weeks back, Rick. I think Price goes on to be one of our goaltending coaches.
Well, this has come out already. Eric Engels has reported this.
Rick, I told you this. I think a couple of weeks ago too that the plan is when a contract runs out,
runs out, he may become the assistant goalie coach or work his way up, or be the goalie coach. But he's going to work with the team for the next 3 years.
Yeah,
with the goalies. So Carey Price is going to work with him. So that can only be good,
right? And especially and again, I think even though Fowler is going to be in obviously Hockey East for his regular season, when he's in camps with the Canadians, having a guy like Carey Price there to kind of show him the ropes.
Even for how about for Monty?
He's already Jacob. I might have said Cam again. With Jacob Fowler, he's and I think the reason too why Pete maybe says he's got that it. I've never seen a more calm demeanor in a goaltender. You know what I mean? When you see him play, it's like watching Carey. Like he nothing phases him. It's like it's scary. It's literally like watching Carey Price.
Which is
nothing phases him. He's very good side to side. Picks the puck up well.
To me, Jacob
still got to work out a few kinks, but I mean, he's right where there's a couple of things to work on, but he's got things in his repertoire again, like different position, but like Lane Hudson or like Dobish, where he's got things that you simply can't teach.
You can't teach. That has been said about him, that he does things you can't.
Instinct. It all comes down to instinct. And his instincts are like up there.
There's two knocks on him. One definitely is not a problem. His conditioning that he'll work on. There's another knock on him.
He'll work on that at BC.
There's another knock on him that he can't work on, and that is he's 6'1". He's an inch too short. They usually don't. But why did they draft him then? I've read this, that the only way a 6'1" goalie gets drafted where he got drafted is he has to have exceptional skill to get drafted
which
there.
He absolutely does.
Which he does.
I mean, I've watched his film. He's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's a spectacular goalie from what I've read. He just his conditioning needs to be a little better, and that's basically it. The kid's got a lot of talent, and I think he hits as well. But with goalies, it's really hard to tell. But anyways, that's what I know about.
Well, and like I've said, and again, not to toot my own horn about being like a college hockey nerd, but He's at probably the best school to be at in terms of goaltending development.
That he is.
College.
Yeah. Boston College is known.
And the same thing with Lane Hudson at Boston University. That in general, any Hockey East school, but especially the schools in Boston, the best schools to go to for not only development, but also because of how competitive they are. You're going to be playing against top teams.
You'll be playing
week in
big
and
games.
week in and week out. So
yeah,
they're in prime position to be ready to get developed and be essentially primed and just about ready once they get here.
But Boston College in particular, known for developing goalies.
Absolutely.
So that's a really good place for Fowler to be.
BU, it's defenseman.
Right. So maybe another reason why they drafted him, they knew where he was going to college. They knew his talent. They knew he'd get developed there. Right? When he comes out of college, he should be ready for the jump. Without a doubt. You know, he's probably going to do 4 years. He's probably going to play 4 years.
Well, look at a lot of the youngsters we have right now. Harris out of Boston, and he's out of Hockey East. Farrell out of Hockey East.
Yeah.
Newhook out of Hockey East. I mean, and again, both of them, you know, they're both from Boston, around my area. So they know the system. That's why I'm saying, like, the fact that these kids are going to school here, and the fact that I know and they know what these schools do in terms of developing these guys, getting them ready for the next level.
Yeah, very important.
I couldn't be happier.
And it's got to be part of the, you know, when you're drafting a guy, you know, who's going to college, it's got to be part of it. Where is he going?
1,000%.
You know, all that stuff. So it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Who put up this? 10 years ago, it was Terrien and Plecky and Patches. Now it's Marty, Hughes, LeCavalier, and all the young, over-enthusiastic players. Looks a lot more fun to come here Sunday. Oh, okay. Wasn't sure what you were saying there. Yeah, well, that's the years move on, and it changes.
Let me grab a drink. I will be right back.
Yeah, no worries.
Just don't forget, we got a guy that's sitting upstairs that is going to be downstairs on the ice working with these people as well. And that's Vinny LeCavalier. And you know, you're going to have Marty out there and Vinny LeCavalier. Who better to learn from? I mean,
not only that, Pete. You also have Marie-Philippe Poulin.
Oh, right.
That they can learn from.
Right.
I mean, to learn from those three people. Granted, Hillary Knight's the best female hockey player ever, but that's a different debate. But seriously, to learn from those three guys.
Yeah.
Or, well, 2 guys and a woman. Like that. Yeah, I mean, that's unbelievable.
And I hope people don't make light of the fact that she's a woman, but believe me, they're going to learn stuff from her.
No, I mean, to me, her and Hillary Knight, and I only say Hillary Knight's better just to make you guys.
Because you're American.
To me, they're like neck and neck. They're the 2 best female hockey players I have ever seen.
And talk about someone who knows how to play under pressure in a big game and then be clutch in those games. That's something they can learn from her.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, it's good. The future is very bright in Montreal for hockey.
1,000%.
There's no doubt about it. Where'd he go?
I'm going to get my drink now.
I don't know. Oh, okay. Because we're going to shut down soon. We're already over an hour and a half. I'm sorry, by the way, in the chat tonight, we didn't get to everything. I apologize, but when
that happens every time I come on,
it's hard. Well, but that's the thing. When there's more people here, like when I'm alone doing a live stream, it's easy for me to, you know, when we're talking. So, but I want to apologize for that. I hope everybody did like the show. Ryan, that's a good point. Don't forget about Adam Nicholas. That is is he the development coach? Is that what it is? I can't remember his title. This guy knows how to break down players' games and then work on the tiny minutia things that make players great, you know? So Adam Nicholas, a very big part and a really good move by the new management to bring in this development group, you know, and we're going to see the benefits of that over the next, hopefully a lot of years. He's the skills coach. That's what it is, right? Skills coach. As the way they break down the skills and stuff, it's crazy. Oh, I know why. I know why Slavkovsky lost 15 pounds. I remember why now. Adam Nicholas asked him to lose weight because he's a little too heavy. So on his very first stride, so he loses some of his explosiveness because of the weight. That's why he took the weight off. I remember reading this. So, I mean, that's the kind of small things that this guy fixes up, and we'll see a much better skating Slavkovsky in camp. That's what I've heard. We're going to see the differences already. So there you go. Very big part, Adam Nicholas.
I've seen some pictures of Slav running around, and he's looking pretty good.
I still remember that video of him on the bike when he almost snapped the friggin' bike off the thing. I was like, whoa.
Imagine if the wheel hit the ground, and he would have gone through the wall. Ryan says because he cut poutine out of his diet. That'll kill you, man. That'll kill you for sure.
Yeah, I remember too in that video. Whoever there were two, like, I don't know if they're probably like assistant, I don't know, whatever, strength conditioning people. One was there was a girl, and she went and looked at the thing, and her eyes just went. Because I don't think she could believe the numbers that were on there. I think she went, "Oh my god!"
On his bike when he
on the video when he almost broke the bike.
Yeah, crazy. But I mean, now he's even faster because of the weight loss.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, but imagine the guy. I mean, he works on such small things like that. You know, you shave
the cardio that he really needed to work on. His cardio was really big. He was gassed after 20 seconds on the ice, and you can't do that. You gotta have a little bit more longevity on the ice.
Also, well, look, the pace in the NHL is a lot faster, right? So even though he might have been,
who was it that said it might have been somebody on another podcast that I listened to, something about lung depth. He didn't have a lot of lung depth. You know what I mean?
I've never heard that.
Lung capacity,
yeah, the capacity. So
well, yeah, sure, that makes a lot of sense because they gotta. I mean, yeah. And listen, like I said earlier, you got to skate 45 seconds. Doesn't sound like much, but you're skating all out. Stop, start, stop, move that way. Stop. You know how freaking hard that is if you've never played hockey. And I've never played to a high end anywhere, but
it's hard.
Oh, it's hard.
Hockey.
It's hard to skate full out. Stop, move the other way. Stop, move, skate down the ice. It's not easy. 45 seconds flat out like that. So. Yeah, you need a lot of.
You got to throw in a few hits there and take a few hits.
You need a lot of air in the lungs to do that. So yeah, that's a good point. So, so
even Huzeli brings it up. He says he worked hard on his lung capacity and breathing.
Yeah, no, it's a big part of it to get, and that's what these guys are getting out of the players now. We didn't have Adam Nicholas before. They never had development here under Bergevin. We develop now, and it's really different. That's why a guy like Slavkovsky now could come in here and develop here on the team because the development group is here in Montreal. Like we have it here, not just down on the farm. They've got a group here, and it makes a huge difference, right? But I'm right about that. That's why Slavkovsky can come here and develop up here and doesn't have to go to the AHL necessarily, right?
Exactly.
So, it's a huge difference. Hang on a second. You got everyone.
I was waiting for Rick to notice.
Just hang on now.
Wow.
I haven't done this in a while. Bob Cannon in the house. Hey, Bob, how's it going, man?
What up, Bob?
Bob, baby.
Real talk for a second, though. The cannon in that video, I'd love to shoot one of those. Like, just go out on the range and just just crank it up. Just for a couple of seconds. This looks fun.
One of those things? Yeah.
A howitzer. Yeah. Go play with a howitzer if you ever get a chance.
Yeah, I wouldn't want a howitzer, though, that fires like that with a crank. Imagine? No, I don't think I'm...
Like a Gatling gun?
Gatling gun. That's what I think of when I see that. Excuse me. Matt, you discussed this, I guess, for a sec. Leon wants to know
Oh,
how
okay.
you became a Habs fan from Boston.
Saku Koivu. No, growing up, I was just drawn to him as a player, and loved the way he played the game, and obviously when he went through the whole cancer thing and seeing him come back from that and continue to play at the for the most part at the level he was at was inspiring, and since then I'd always kind of had a soft spot for the Canadians, which didn't really make a lot of sense based on where I was from, and a few more years down the road, I just kind of decided, you know what?
How can you not love
done with Boston. I'm going to go with the Habs. Full-fledged. And haven't looked back.
I've heard that now a few times.
Yeah.
No, it's true, but it's a good story. There was something there that I saw. What did I see? Oh, I wanted to say, hey, Pistol Pete, how's it going? That's what I wanted to do. I thought I saw a comment there. Joe says learning to sing is a good way to increase lung capacity. Or play trumpet or something like that. Another good way. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What else? So listen, we're gonna go soon, but if you got anything that you want to ask at the end or just say, let's get that in, and we're gonna be here another 5 minutes or so. So, I don't know. You guys got anything at the end there? I don't know what else to add in here.
Getting exciting. It's only a few more weeks.
Well, we are. Let me think now for a sec. We're 3, 4, maybe 5 weeks away from rookie camp. And then once rookie camp's done, I think I don't know the first day of training camp, but I do know preseason games are the 25th start. So it's got to be like the 22nd or 23rd is going to be the opening of camp. So we're getting really close anyway. Things are going to heat up.
Hopefully Mayu gets his meeting with Gary Bettman. I did read from an article on July 16th that I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. That wasn't.
There was something about the meeting's only going to happen when he's ready to make the move to the NHL, which I don't know. To me, doesn't make sense because I think he has to be cleared for the NHL to play in the AHL, right?
That's what I thought. I had read it.
That's what I thought too.
So I don't know, but that means that he's cleared for the AHL. He's going to the AHL.
Mm-hmm.
So that's at least set.
So, either way, I mean, hopefully that happens. I mean, and maybe the reason it's been pushed off, and I kind of made a side note about that. The only thing I can really think of is the Hockey Canada thing. Maybe that's just taking up so much right now. But again, I mean, who knows?
No, nothing about that though. Nothing more on that. I think that when they've decided, then we'll hear. We're not going to hear anything else.
Yeah,
I think for now.
But I think behind the scenes, I think things are going on, and it's kind of taking up a lot of that time because they got to figure out what the hell to do. So that's probably delaying things. But I don't think. I mean, you got to think that meeting's got to happen before the end of the month, right?
The decision's got to come down.
Because I mean, it wouldn't necessarily shock me if maybe he gets a cup of coffee at the end of the year, depending on how he does on Laval. And
Mayu, we're talking about Mayu still?
Mayu, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of think Mayu's going to see a game or 2 or 3 here this season. That's what but near the end of the season, probably, I would think.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking too. But in order for that to happen, this meeting has to happen.
Has to happen, yeah. They got to make a decision on that. Here's a good question. What do you think? Who do you think Raphael Harvey-Pinard plays with this season? Oh, and maybe to lead off Laval or Montreal, because he could go to Laval because of his waiver status.
I think he plays with Montreal. I think he's. I think for the most part, I think he's safe. Not 100%, but I think for the most part.
I think I agree with you. No, I agree with you. So where does he play? What line?
Probably on the 4th line with Jake Evans, and then plop whoever you want on the other wing for now, anyway. But again, he's the type of player. If you got injuries, you can move him up and down.
Yeah, you can play anywhere. Yeah.
But I think fully healthy roster. I think he's on the 4th line with Jake Evans.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Exactly. He's on the 4th to start, and then like you said, as the injuries pile up.
Or not.
It also wouldn't shock me maybe if he gets second unit power play time just because he's such a net front presence, like the bat in,
that's a good
find those pucks. So he might get some time on the second unit. We'll see.
Might be the new Hoffman.
I'm going to say this, though, and I'm going to say if Nick Suzuki is playing on the first power play unit, I could see him getting some time there because there's definite chemistry between him and Suzuki.
So Caulfield, Suzuki, Pinard, and then
there's definite chemistry there. So if he's playing fourth line, you might want to get him in there with Suzuki on the power play. Maybe not full time, but like playing some time there.
Yeah,
I can see that. So, well, we all agreed with Harvey Pinard, so we answered that. By the way, guys, I'm not going to go over the opinion of. If you want to know about the what we thought about the trade, you're going to have to do that on replay because we've been at it on an hour and 45 minutes, and we're about to go. I don't want to recap all that. I have to think Pitlick and Hoffman gone. He has a roster spot. I mean, very good point. That's actually a good point. That, yeah, I would think Harvey Pinard was one of the guys they wanted to find definite room for, and needed to move bodies. You know, he's one of those guys. So yeah, I think that's a good point.
Yeah, I think so. And like I said, I think, like I said, it is definitely. I think three, maybe four names that are in the minors right now that, you know, I think they're looking at that. You know, these kids could possibly make the jump, and we need spots.
Yeah, so, definitely.
Sure.
Were you gonna say something, Pete?
No.
So here's an interesting comment, and I got an answer to it too. You have to have a half a deck of cigarettes like Lafleur between periods, and nobody had more stamina than him. Maybe true. Difference is the game is fast compared to back then, right? So these guys are now moving at full speed for 45 seconds to a minute, and it's not the same as in the 70s. So
no,
I don't agree with you there.
It's so different.
Yeah, it's not. You can't compare them.
Although I would love to see what Lafleur would be like today. Without
a doubt. Yeah, right. Without a doubt.
Ryan, I like this a lot. Those are two of the names that I had. Those two, Emil Heineman and Sean Farrell, is kind of the four guys where they're probably going to take a real good look at in camp.
I agree with that too, but I don't agree with that Dvorak won't be back to start the season because he's on the IR. I don't see how you trade him. He's going to start the season on the IR.
Well, I think that might be what Ryan's getting at. That might be what he could be.
And he could be an early season trade where they play him a little bit, and then there's a team with a need because of an injury, and they make that move. But if they could move him before the season, that could be the answer to the money problem.
With that, and then Owen Beck then has a spot on the third line center.
Right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. If they figure that that'll happen, that could be the answer to the money problem. But I don't think they leave themselves that, like, if Beck doesn't have a good camp, I don't think they leave themselves without a guy like. So I don't think Devo gets moved till after he's back to play. So that means after the season starts.
Or, I mean, maybe even it's during camp. Maybe they see enough of Owen back and they say, well, we want him in the NHL, but we got to, you know.
Habs absolutely is not happy that we got Petry back, but maybe we didn't. I mean, it's not a sure thing he's going to play. They might flip him. I think we talked about it earlier. I would have to ask you to go look at that. But I think there's a possibility that he does stay. I can see it working out for a season, you know, and then they move him at the deadline or in the off season. So if they can work out the money.
Engels put out something good too right after the trade, kind of his breakdown. He did say like there is a scenario where Hughes could maybe be working on a move to flip him. Again, we just don't know.
And Phil says, hell, we got Matheson for Petry last time. What can we get next time?
Kind of, right? We got Matheson for free at this point.
We got Matheson for free because we got Petry back and Paling left to sign elsewhere, and he wasn't going to make it here probably anyways. So it's a good point, Phil, that he's like the gift that keeps on giving, right? And, you know, and it's so anybody worried like, oh, we got Petry back. They could flip him, you know, so I don't think it's anything to worry about.
They could flip him. There's so much that could happen. I mean,
yeah, and they Pittsburgh retained 25%, so we're not paying that 6.5 that he was making. So it's cheaper, somewhat, and I think they could work. Like if they move Devo, then they can keep Petry. Well, that's not a problem, right? So who knows?
They want to keep him. We don't know what's happening. I wish we were a fly in the.
I'm really gonna lean towards that they traded for him because they're gonna keep him for at least a year.
Well, we shall see.
All right. On that note, we are saying so long for tonight. It was a great live stream. I had a lot of fun. There were a lot of people here. Before you leave, I would ask you if you can give a thumbs up if you liked it, and if you haven't subscribed, hey, hit the subscribe button because we're going to do this as often as we can, definitely when things happen. So the reason, though, that we're doing the live stream tonight is because I couldn't do a video on it. I thought this would be a good way to talk about the trade because it's an interesting enough trade. It's not a tiny trade. This was a pretty big trade. And, so we did that. I'm working on a Sam Montembeault video, basically talking about what kind of contract, are they going to extend him and what kind of contract he might get. And then also doing a little bit of scouting report on Monty because I don't know that I've ever really done anything like that. And he has improved, and I like what I see from him. So I'm working on that. I'll be back on Wednesday for a Wednesday night show. And if anything breaks on this front of a movement or trade, I'm definitely going to do a video as long as they don't catch me when I just left the house to be gone all day because that's what happened today. Goddamn thing. 15 minutes after I leave the house, not even. And Matt texted me, and it had just been announced. So it's like, God.
And I was in my house at the time too. Otherwise, I would have shot something. It was like every time.
It's like, goddamn, it always happens. Oftentimes, the news will come out. It'll be like that. So, all right. So, thanks, boys, for being here. Thanks to Alex also for being here. And most importantly, thanks to you guys out there for being here because if you guys aren't out there, what am I doing? Right? So thank you all for being here. Thanks for watching. And I just got I don't know if I have it. I got this to play. It's something new. Thanks for watching. If you like this, give a thumbs up, leave a comment, and please share this video. I don't know if you want to share a live stream like this, but just something new I made. So thanks for being here. Till next time, stay safe out there, everybody. And peace out, as I always say. And like I said, we'll see you next time. Ciao. Enjoy the rest of the night. And we'll see you next time. Ciao, everybody.
Have a good one.
Keep your sticks on the ice.
Thank you, everybody, for being with us. Have a good night.